I'm Alastair Stewart, and for the first time on British television, live in front of a representative studio audience, we'll be hearing from three men, each hoping to be the leader of the next UK government in the first election debate. Tonight, history in the making.
I trust that no members of the ECRG here will be hypocritical enough to condemn Iran for the use of violence in elections when David Cameron is among the sponsors of UAF, an organisation of far-left criminals which routinely deploys intimidation and violence against nationalist dissidents in Britain. The same is true of 5 current Labour, Lib Dem and Tory MEPs, marked with the shame of supporting the use of British taxpayers' money to support their own militia, which breaks up opposition meetings and attacks their opponents with bricks, darts and claw hammers.
Lorna for the latest.
A Sky News poll has revealed widespread public support for many of the BNP's policies. In a survey of 1,800 people by the pollsters YouGov, many voters said they would vote for BNP policies, with a small drop in support when the BNP was actually mentioned by name. The findings will prove worrying for all the main parties in the run-up to the key local elections in just 9 days' time.
And the new law of terrorism says, if you give money to Mujahideen in Afghanistan, you're a terrorist. And if you give money to Mujahideen in Palestine...
I'm proud of the achievements of the Muslims of this country from '97. In 1997 we got our first Muslim MP. In 2001 we had 2 Muslim MPs. In 2005 we had 4 Muslim MPs. Inshallah in 2009-10 we'll have 8 Muslim MPs. In 2014 we'll have 16 Muslim MPs. At this rate the whole Parliament will be Muslim. But just to say, but you know, we've got 4 Muslim MPs, there should be 20 Muslim MPs in Parliament, and inshallah very shortly we'll see that. And I'm confident, as Britain's first Muslim Minister, that inshallah in the next 30 years or so we'll see a Prime Minister in this country who happens to share my faith. Inshallah in 2009-10 we'll have 8 Muslim MPs. In 2014 we'll have 16 Muslim MPs. We'll have 16 Muslim MPs. At this rate, the whole Parliament will be Muslim.
In his 90-plus years on Earth, Bernard Lewis has learned to take the long view of history, and in doing so, he has a warning for America and the West.
The main message that I'm trying to communicate is that we are engaged in a struggle comparable with the two great struggles of the 20th century against Nazism and against Bolshevism, and that it would improve our chances of winning if we understand who we are and who they are, what it's all about.
Lewis says the struggle is between Islam and Christendom, two worldviews that contend that theirs is the one true faith. And while millions of secularists in America and Europe fail to see that they're actually involved in such a conflict, the nature of the fight is crystal clear for radical Islamists like Osama bin Laden.
And where you have two religions with the same self-perception, the same sense of vision, the same historical background, in the same geographical area, a conflict was inevitable. And the conflict has been going on for more than 14 centuries. Crusade and counter-crusade, and jihad and counter-jihad, conquest and reconquest, sometimes one side winning, sometimes the other side winning.
When bin Laden and his fellow radicals drove the Soviet Union out of Afghanistan in the early 1980s, people in the West saw a U.S. victory in the Cold War. But the Islamists saw it as the defeat of one of two major Christian powers.
And now the only obstacle that remains to the worldwide triumph of Islam is the United States. So that is the next target. And that is very clear.
So he says, a voice in the wilderness then. Wildernesses are good places, I notice, for voices. They tend to get a reverberation which is often lost in the more crowded places.
Two days later, 1,000 dockers marched to Parliament to protest against what they called the victimisation of Powell. White working people, traditionally core Labour supporters, were now backing a radical right-wing Tory. Meat porters from Smithfield Market in London added their voice to the growing chorus of support.
Enoch! How can you fetch more in when you haven't got enough housing, enough schools, the National Health Service is going to put over them? This is why we're doing it, because Enoch Powell spoke the truth and he's been sacked for it. This race relation issue goes well beyond the field of politics and trade union matters. This is an issue of national importance.